Hey guys, welcome back to another video on my channel today, and in this video I'm going to be showing my college experience in terms of the level 2, level 3 year 1 and level 3 year 2. So before we get started, do make sure you leave a like and you subscribe, especially if you're new to my channel. If you are, please subscribe and turn on the notification bell because I am trying to reach 100 subscribers and it would mean the absolute world if you do, if you like what you see. And also feel free to follow any of my social medias, which will be in the description below. Without further ado, let's get to it. So I will split this video into 3 parts. I'm going to talk about my level 2 experience, level 3 year 1 experience, and level 3 year 2 experience. So this may be a long video, so make sure you have some snacks and drinks and whatever you want to munch on. Let's get to it. To start, we are going to go through part 1, which is level 2. Now, when I was 16, obviously I finished my GCSEs, tried to enroll. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get on the level 3 course, so I had to go to the level 2 course because obviously if I were to go on the level 3 course, I would have needed to pass maths. Honestly, I didn't. It's fine. It's fine. Let's just say the enrollment process was very long. I mean, I spent 2 days trying to enroll. I'm not going to talk about that because it was already very annoying to do. Lesson started. First project we did was duologues. What duologues are is basically a scene with 2 people. Now, I worked with this amazing actor who was really good when he was really focused. When he wasn't, he was a good person, but he just ended up getting distracted quite easily. I mean, sure, we all get to that point of where we would be distracted easily, but I'm not that type of person. Whenever I'm in lessons, I'm usually very focused. I don't like to get myself distracted too easily, but we did end up making a really good scene out of it. I'm not gonna lie, it was really good. Next project we did was Blackout, and that was one of our first performances of that year. I played the main character James and narrator. It was a really good show, to be fair. We did have a new member of the class, but then 3 people who kind of left during the whole year. I'm not gonna go into it. Anywho's, we did make a really good show out of Blackout. Next bit we did was we kind of mainly focused on progression and where we wanted to be in the next 5 years and how I wanted to go on to the level 3 course and eventually end up at uni because that's kind of where I wanted to go. After that, we did our final show called Mug. We were originally supposed to do some other play that was written by Roy Williams. Let's just say I got a role, and that role wasn't teacher, but do you want to guess how many scenes I was in? I guess 5, 4, no, 3. I was very annoyed because I'm a really good actor. I learn lines very quickly. I'm committed. I'm there on time or early to rehearsals, and I get my shit done. To be given a role of a teacher that's only in for like 3 scenes, are you joking? I wasn't having it, so pretty much the whole class ganged up on my teacher, and then the teacher decided to change the play that we was doing. Instead, I ended up playing a bully. That was quite fun. Next up, part 2, level 3 year 1. This time, I got a new tutor. She was really fun. I'm not gonna lie, she was a really good teacher. Yes, she did have her strict moments. Yes, she would yell, but she only does it because she cares. Okay? And that's when you know a teacher cares, when they have to yell, okay, when they have to be strict. You may think that's just them being mean. Sometimes it's, hey, you really got to see, the bigger picture. First project we did was monologues, and for those who are going into drama, you pretty much need to know how to do a monologue, pretty much the basics. It was really fun. The monologue I did was DNA, and I played the monologue at the very end of the play, where I was playing Richard and I was trying to get Phil to essentially calm down from this thing, even though it didn't work. Then the next project we did, it was supposed to be a public performance, so the play that we did was The Bogus Woman, but we didn't do the whole play. We just did selective scenes because it was a scene study, and we were supposed to use those specific scenes and do it into like some sort of performance to our family and friends. That didn't happen because of some reasons, and we just did it privately. I played the character of Solicitor, and it was pretty much fun. Next project was the Tate Modern. I kind of hated that project simply because, one, I was in the acting group and we basically interviewed people who migrated because that was a theme of the Tate Exchange. We would then transcribe those words and we would perform those words, but because I didn't feel comfortable performing women words because obviously she was talking about having kids and stuff like that, I wouldn't really know how to perform it because I would have never experienced it myself. I told my teacher I didn't want to do it, so instead I played a guard and I would read out the numbers that were attached to the actor's shoes, and then they would come up, put their chair in the middle of the space and do their moment. That was that. And then our final project was Zero for the Young Dudes, and I was playing a crazy person, guard, and a crazy soldier. It was pretty fun to do, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, yeah, there were issues like people not turning up to rehearsals on time, taking forever to learn lines. There was even this one point where I was in a technical week and a girl was annoyed for some reason. I'm not sure whether she was annoyed at all of us or she was annoyed at all of us plus the teacher, but she just had some fucking bad attitude. Don't know what the hell her problem was. I'm not gonna go into it. And there was this one point in one of the performances where basically I had to say someone else's lines as well as mine for like the first bit of that scene because the actor who was supposed to be saying those other lines was supposed to be in the scene, but apparently she was distracted and somebody told her, yeah, you were supposed to be on that scene. Your scene's already starting now. Just run, just just wait for a second and then just run on stage, even though it was a bit outrounded, but she did manage to get there, and honestly, it all turned out brilliantly. I'm not gonna lie. I really loved that performance the most. Next up, level 3 year 2, and let's just say I hated that year, okay? The reason being, one, we had to do our own rendition of Sophocles' Antigone, but not only was it the translated version, but we also had to put that into a modern context, and our context was a mental asylum. And the type of staging that we had to do it in was in the round. Those who do drama, if you know the different types of staging, in the round is basically where the audience is pretty much around you. Typically, it is pretty hard to do a play in the round because you got to make sure that not only do your audience who are in front of you get to see you, but you want to also have the audience who are behind you to hear you and at the sides of you, and it's very confusing. It's like the flight attendants moment where they point to the passengers of where the exit door signs are, like, you know, there are 2 exit doors at the front, the sides, and the rear. The character that I had to unfortunately play was a chorus member, and it wasn't just me, it was 2 other people in the end. Originally it was supposed to be 5 of us, but 2 of them didn't want to do the performance because obviously they didn't like doing Greek theatre stuff. So then we would spend the first half of the term just literally going through the lines and just dividing it between the 3 of us because the chorus member lines were very long. We had to pretty much divide each bit. After we'd done that, we would then learn the lines, start developing our own characters, yada yada yada. And let's just say we had issues, especially with few people, the same person. It got to the stage where everybody was having a go at each other. I don't think we would be able to get this on stage, but eventually we managed to pull through. And even though I did have a meltdown at some point in one of the rehearsals, let's just say I told people that this idea that they thought would work in this moment of a scene would work when it didn't, and then everybody else didn't listen to me. Everyone else just said, oh no, it worked, it's fine, yada yada. When it's not fine, then I just end up getting frustrated because it's like, no, it doesn't fine, you lot just aren't listening. And then I got a bit annoyed, so then I just left the rehearsal space. I was like, forget it, whatever. That was that point when I couldn't be asked. Nevertheless, we got through in the end. It's fine. Then our final sort of project before It, Who Must Not Be Named, happened was our research project. And this was basically individualized project where each of us would have to make a project about something that's related to the arts as a whole. My project was to do with mental health and how theatre has used mental health in today's society. So I've looked at 3 different mental health issues plus bullying, and I've looked at different plays that use mental health as a theme of some sort, as well as looking into immersive foreign theatre, because my concept in terms of how I would perform this project was to use foreign theatre and use a monologue from a play that I was also writing myself about mental health to combine it together to perform a project. So I originally wanted to do like a whole workshop where I would perform my monologue the first time, get them their thoughts, their opinions, and yada yada yada. Second time I will perform it, they're going to come up and make the scene different. And the purpose of that was to give them an understanding of what it means to have a mental health issue and how they could help with that. And 2 issues arised. One, it was going to be too long because a typical workshop like that would take 45 minutes to an hour. I'm not going to explain to you why it would take that long for a workshop like that. Second, I was doing a little too much, so I had to dial myself down a little bit. Instead, what I did was I would introduce the project as well as say the first few lines of my monologue through a recorded note. So I would play myself as somebody who's having like an interview, and then somehow I would just take over the recording and just continue the rest of my monologue using my mouth, because everyone has a mouth. So then after that, I would get them to give me their thoughts on what they saw, whether they experienced this type of sadness and depression, and then I would get them to work in pairs or in groups, and they would answer these 2 questions which I would write on the board, which were what's their opinion on mental health as a whole and how do they think theatre has used mental health. All in all, I kind of enjoyed that project, to be fair.